Welcome back to Justice. Now take a listen to what I heard on CNN this week.
He's made it more popular, I think, to be openly racist. So
Are you suggesting that they're racist, or they're
yes?
The people who vote, all the people who voted for Donald Trump are racist?
Yes.
And that's just one of the most outrageous comments I've heard this week. Joining me now, Turning Point Communication Director Candace Owens. Candace, so good to have you back on the show. So is it true, I won't even ask you that, are all the people who voted for Donald Trump racist? I mean, where did they get off saying this stuff?
You have to give her some credit for saying it with a straight face and with a little bit of passion behind her. So we're going to give her a little bit of credit there. But I don't know, am I the only one that's completely bored with this? Like, this narrative is just, it's exhausting. Maybe it stung a little bit the first billion times they said it. But now it's just like, okay, guys, let's wrap this little party up. You know, it's ridiculous. There's no meaning to it. It's just them unwilling to accept that maybe people have different ideas and beliefs.
Okay, but here's the problem. You know, it's like something that you were talking about with people saying they'd rather vote for date an MS-13 gang member than a Trump supporter. I mean, these are young people. These are millennials. And here's my concern, that people are buying this crap. You say something often enough and people think it's true.
Well, that's definitely true. And I think that primarily with the younger generation, they're a target because they're already in their school systems. They're in college. So it's indoctrination happening at the highest levels. When they get out into the real world and they start to understand how mortgages work and, you know, how to manage a checkbook, they go, oh, well, maybe they're voting for different reasons and voting with their brains and not just their emotions.
But do you think, you know, it's interesting, though, do you think that the schools, the education system is kind of, you know, causing them to think this way and to buy this stuff as opposed to being, you know, somewhat critical of information you hear?
Oh, I know this for a fact. I don't just think it, I know it. This is exactly what we do at Turning Point USA. We go and we talk to these students on campus. Just take a look at a textbook. You see so many students that are speaking out saying that their professors are upset with them for being Trump supporters. They're being tortured for being conservative. Yeah. It is not a safe place to be on a college campus today and hold conservative beliefs.
Yeah, and I know that because I've spoken on college campuses. But, you know, here's an ad that I want you to listen to. I think we have one coming up here.
After 9/11, the greatest threat to our democracy lived in a cave. Today, he lives in the White House.
Okay. The greatest threat to our democracy lived in a cage, and this guy's running for political office, and he thinks the greatest threat to democracy lives in the White House today. How outrageous is this?
Yeah, that's not as funny as the other one. I think this is actually very serious. We refer to this colloquially as Trump derangement syndrome, but it's a real thing. You know, people become so obsessed and so deranged with the idea of not understanding how Trump got into the White House that they're willing to correlate him and also forgive people that have done abhorrent things in the history of the world. They're willing to forgive those people and paint them to be lighthearted characters like Hitler, like Mussolini I've seen, and now we're talking about Osama bin Laden. So this is very serious and just goes to show you that this man does not possess a modicum of intelligence enough to win office anywhere.
But let me ask you this. This guy made an ad, had enough money to make this ad, okay? He is running for office, and I don't want to give him too much credit or attention, but I find this absolutely frightening.
It is.
That someone in the United States of America, this guy is on the screen, his name is Dan Helmer, that would actually say that Donald Trump is worse than Osama bin Laden.
It is actually frightening, and that's why I said it's something that we need to have a serious discussion about, because that's scary. That's a person
Candace, when do we get to the discussion?
I know. I feel like you and I have been having it all the time. Right? We're constantly going out there and saying this.
Yeah.
And certainly our president is out there having the discussion all the time as well. But the parents that are upset about Donald Trump's presidency need to exit this sort of an extreme narrative and say to their children, listen, maybe I don't like him personally, but this is very extreme.
Yeah, it's frightening. Anyway, Candace Owens, so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, and speaking